We're almost done with the Crawl Cosplay Academy. Today, we're taking on Antaeus, the guardian of Cocytus. We'll be playing as this frosty Christmas snowman in our quest to complete every conduct and every bonus challenge. Let's take a look at this character first. Antaeus is an Oni ice elementalist of Red Now, I've never played an Oni before, so let's peek at what the wiki has to say about them. Oni are large, rowdy creatures who love a good fight. They can wield giant clubs and throw large rocks. They can't wear boots, gloves, helmets, or most body armors. They have horns on their head, which they can use to make ox attacks. They have +1 AC bonus for their tough skin. They receive double the healing from potions, and this applies to both HP and MP healing, like from a potion of magic. They also have the Drunken Brawling ability, which means that when they drink a restoring potion, they make a free attack against all adjacent enemies. When leveling up, they receive +1 strength every 3rd level, 30% more hit points than average, and +4 willpower per level. Their aptitudes are pretty average with a strong preference towards fighting and a slight boost to the spellcasting skill. Overall, I think this Oni is going to be a blast to play. It's going to be an interesting prospect playing a spellcaster that can only gain strength outside of the stats that you get to choose every few levels. Most caster characters I've played in the past have been Dex Int spellcasters, so it's going to be cool playing a Strength Int caster. Wiglif was more of a melee brute with some spellcasting, whereas I imagine this character is going to be primarily a spellcaster with some good melee potential to back it up. Alright, let's take a look at our background. Ice Elementalists start with a robe and a magic pot, like most caster backgrounds. Their starting spells are Freeze, Frozen Ramparts, Ozakibu's Armor, and Summon Ice Beast. They have Freeze memorized from the start, but have to learn the others. I played a few Ice Elementalists when I was still learning, but I never did bring one across the finish line. I do agree with the community consensus that this is a very strong start. Freeze can carry you through D1 and 2, and Frozen Ramparts is strong enough to handle anything between that and Lair. It's a very synergistic starting book that trivializes adders, which are a very real early game threat. If you don't know, adders, like all snakes, are cold-blooded, and so cold damage gives them the slow condition, which cuts their action speed in half. If we do die on this character, I don't think it's going to be due to the early game thanks to the strong start. Alright, now that we looked at our species and our background, let's take a look at the god we'll have to worship. Cast down by the good gods eons ago, Red Now seeks to despoil their creations and chain all living souls with their inexorable grip. To understand Red, you have to understand the Black Torch. The Black Torch is a mechanic unique to Red where you have to light it before gaining piety on a floor. If you leave the floor, your torch goes out, so it's effectively an anti-stair dancing mechanic. As soon as you begin worship of Red, you gain an Umbra, increasing your stealth and reducing the accuracy of your enemies. The radius gets bigger as your piety increases. When things die in your Umbra, they have a chance to be raised as undead under your control. You also gain the ability to light your Black Torch, which enables you to gain piety. You also get an ability called Recall Undead Harvest, which teleports your undead minions to you from any location. At Piety level 1, you gain temporary allies when you light your Black Torch. The allies you get increase in power as you gain experience levels. Note that you can only do this once per floor though. At 2 pips of Piety, you gain the Hurl Torchlight ability. It allows you to create a 3x3 blast which deals damage and gives your undead minions that are caught in the radius the Might status. Your uses of this ability are limited per floor based on your Piety level, but if you kill a unique, you gain a charge. At 4 pips of Piety, you gain the Bind Soul ability, which allows you to bind the soul of a living creature to serve you. They become a bound soul which can follow you between floors, and they retain a lot of their original properties and abilities. I've heard this ability is quite powerful if you use it on a creature that can summon other creatures because they tend to live longer, and their summons do most of the work for you. Finally, at 5 pips, you gain the Fathomless Shackles. This ability creates a 4x4 radius around you that binds all enemies and deals damage to them over time, healing you for a portion of the damage dealt. This ability seems really powerful, but it does cost a ton of piety. I've never worshipped Red before, but I'm excited to give them a try. They seem pretty powerful, as long as you're careful not to lose your torch status by carelessly leaving floors you're still clearing. I'm sure we would never do that. Alright, now that we've gone over our character, let's take a look at the conducts and the bonus challenges. Alright, for our first conduct we have leveling up. Select int at experience levels 3 and 9. For number 2 we have I'm an XL. Equip body armor other than robe or animal skin from a troll or dragon most likely. For number 3 we have Mr. Freeze. Train ice magic and fighting to 12 or more. For our bonus challenges we have number 1 close quarters combat. Cast frozen ramparts 27 times or more. Number 2 we have Grim Reaper. Bind the soul of a powerful foe and get a rune. These conducts and challenges don't seem that difficult, but that's intentional. Because this is a cosplay academy, it's meant more to guide the player towards effective decisions, or branch out of ways that they would normally play without being overly restrictive. Okay, now that we're done with all that, let's get right into the gameplay.